Well, hello, wealthy women. I have another amazing interview with you. You're going to love this, and it's exactly the perfect time for something like this. Right around this time of year, we're all focused on new thoughts to how better improve our lives. And I tell you, you're in for a treat. So rather than me talk all about it, let me introduce you to Heather. Heather is going to take it away. She's going to tell you all about her business, her work, where you can find her, and why her business is so important to her and how she can help you be even better than you thought you could be. So take it away, Heather.
Well, first, thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here and I'm excited to get to speak to everybody. This is great. I love it.
Perfect.
Um,
We're
so,
glad to have you here.
my name is Heather Creson, and I specialize in helping people get to the root cause of unresolved health concerns, chronic illnesses, and mysterious symptoms they're experiencing. I typically help a lot of people who've kind of fallen through the cracks of Western medicine and even functional medicine and all those types of things. And we've gone down the rabbit holes of all these different healing modalities, and we haven't gotten the results that we want. We're still experiencing all these different symptoms and we don't know what to do. Um, I have been there and I understand it. And I also have figured out different ways to help people around it. And it is not necessarily an easy approach, but it's simple because you start plugging it into a framework and really giving people the tool set that they need to heal. So I've been doing that for 16 years. I started out in the massage and bodywork industry. One of the really frustrating things about massage, at least for me, was that people always look at where someone is tight or hurting, not why they're tight or hurting. And so I'll give a massage and people come back and they feel good for like 2 hours and then the pain comes back. I didn't like those results. So I started digging deeper about why those things were occurring. And the deeper I dug, the more I got to um, postural correction. And then you learn about inflammation. And that's a whole rabbit hole of itself and the root cause of a lot of chronic pain and disease. And that got me to discovering root cause issues in people. So I've been doing it for a long time and I've been able to help a lot of people and I love it.
I love this. I mean, it's so important when you think about our health, and you're so correct. A lot of the times we're just putting so-called band-aids on the problems instead of getting to the root. And, it, we never really fix the problem then. And I love that your specialty is really getting to the root cause of it so that people can, fix what is not working and get on with their lives and enjoy their lives and not always have to have this become a focus of, their thought process. So maybe you can share with us how you might help somebody, maybe something typical that someone tends to come into. What would be your strategy for them? And then also, tell us a little bit about your programs and where people can find you to learn more about your work.
Okay. Well, when I first get a client coming into me, and they have a lot of different random symptoms, they might have brain fog or some GI issues. They might be experiencing fatigue, musculoskeletal pain. I don't look at any of those things. I look at how all the systems in the body work together for healing to occur. So, um, in a way that makes it not as complex for me. I am not a physician. I don't treat, I don't diagnose, I don't prescribe. I don't have to deal with any diagnoses. I get to look at what is underlying that. So the first thing I look at is how are the body's drainage pathways flowing? And this is how systems connect. So the first thing, if somebody's having a health problem, how are your bowel movements? What's going on in that GI tract? Are you having 1 to 2 bowel movements per day that are healthy, normal stools? Then we start looking up at liver function. How's your liver doing? Bile, which the liver produces, is a binder, and in that process, bile binds to the toxins in our body, and that's what takes it to the colon and gets it out of our body. If those are not functioning well, you're going to have some different problems getting the waste and toxins out of your body. Then I look higher up the chain. What's draining the waste and toxins from our cells? That's the lymphatic system. That's an amazing system. It is so cool, and I could talk about that this whole interview. I won't have time, and I'll tell you more about that on my website. But I look at how all those things are working together. You can't isolate systems and heal. After I look at drainage pathways, then we start addressing root cause issues. And I'll use different binders for that. Binders bind to different toxins and help get them out of the body. So if your bile's not flowing well, we give some supplements that can help aid that process until your bile can take over, until your liver's functioning better. There's always a component of nervous system support, because if your nervous system, if you're always living in fight or flight, if your body's just spending day in and day out trying not to die, you're not going to be able to be in a healing state. And in order to heal, you have to calm that that fight or flight response so that you can enter a healing state and rest and restore and recover. Another thing I look at is the energetic resources. When I say energy, I'm not talking about an energy supplement. I'm not talking about caffeine. I'm talking about like minerals and oxygen and different things your body needs to heal. Because if you're asking your body to heal and do deep detoxification work, you need energy to do that. So we look at all of these things, and also sleep. Now, one of the things that is a challenge is people who have chronic health issues also have chronic sleep issues. So I give hints to help people sleep, but throughout my course, I teach people all the other things that are going to take away that interference so you can sleep, because that's when we have the most healing and recovery done.
I can
And that's
imagine because, oh, sorry, it's like a catch-22. If the other systems are keeping you from proper sleep and the proper sleep is going to help you heal the other systems, yeah, you can see how that's a circle that's never getting fixed properly.
yeah.
So,
And then we
but
take
go
a ton
ahead.
of sleep supplements,
Mm,
and it depending on where you take them from, if you're taking like prescription medications, those have their own level of side effects, or even melatonin is not always the best.
yeah.
So really teaching people how to help their body regulate their own sleep cycles so they can heal. And also the foods we put into our body, that's huge. And just because something is healthy and works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for another person. There we have categories of foods like lectins, which are beans and nuts and different things. And people think those are very healthy, but it might not be the right thing for you. Those contribute to autoimmune disease. They contribute to a lot of GI disorders. You can have histamine foods, which, oh my goodness, the list of symptoms for that is very long, but fibrotic disorders, other GI issues, different brain fog things, mast cell activation syndrome, all of those can be connected with histamines. And then you have oxalates, which are all healthy foods, I think, as I'm thinking through the list. Almonds, your dark chocolate, your beets, your spinach. So all the healthy things we do when we go on a detox or cleanse, if you're sensitive to oxalates, then that will mess with your system and keep you from healing. So those are all the things that I address in my programs. And it sounds like a lot, but I put it together in a simple way that people can layer in and find the pieces that work for them.
I love that. It's almost like, when someone, like, say, for example, thinks they have a food allergy and they have to do food allergy tests because they don't know which one it is, right? And so it sounds like your program is a little bit like the law of deduction, so to speak, where you start with, you take a little bit out, put a little bit in, see how the body reacts so that you can sort of customize it to that human being, because we are all different as a snowflake or our fingerprints. And what does work for one will not work for another because of our tolerances. These are just our genetics, right? The same as someone's born with, brown eyes and is tall, and another one has blue eyes or something. Everybody's so unique. And so we can't have this, set standard for all. It just won't work. And I love that your program really takes a very intense, customized focus on each individual. And then, that gives someone a blueprint on how they can go forward with their life in this regard. So they can, get on with other things and feel stronger and more vibrant and energetic and healthy. Because I know all the men, all the children, everybody wants to have a healthy life, because without health, this is really everything. So I think it's very important work that you're doing. And maybe share a little bit. How would a typical program work with you? Like maybe an intro program with you, and then where can they go to find out more on your website?
Well, my website is defyyourlimits.com, and all the information is there. You can look at the resources page, and It'll take you to book a call with me if you'd like, and we can talk about what specifically you have going on and if what I teach can be helpful to you. I offer um, virtual coaching, and I can do one-on-one, or I have a group program. And depending on the format that you'd like, we can work through all of that stuff and see what works for you. I have a freebie. You can take assessments and see what might be the underlying causes of your health issues. And you'll be exposed to different things. And we all have different exposures and different genetics, different lifestyles. And so the root cause assessments help you figure out what might be driving those symptoms you're experiencing. And then in my programs, we address that stuff, but we address all the other components in a simple way so you can actually apply them to your lives.
Yeah.
I have a lot of information, but I try not to overload people. We
Yeah.
space it out so that people can actually integrate it.
That
And
that's the most important thing, right? The integration, because that's I think where we all, whatever it is we're doing, we always want to learn and do better and be better. But sometimes when we get stuck in the learning part and we don't integrate it, we're not making that difference. So I love that you kind of have that whole integration aligned with your program, and move a little, maybe a little bit slower, but more successfully, because that integration is really everything. Without the
right.
action.
And even when people have the course, when they buy it, they'll have the information. Like the group coaching goes for 8 weeks, but as people are doing it, they have the course. They can work at their own pace, because that's a huge part in our healing processes. Everybody's different.
Yes,
The sicker you are, the more chronic symptoms you have, the slower you're going to have to go. You're not going to heal in 8 weeks if you've been sick for a really long time. It takes
that's
time to
true.
rebuild all of this stuff. My
That's
program is not a quick fix. It is not it's not for everybody. This is for people who are really frustrated with their current medical conditions and the whole medical system.
true.
They've fallen through those cracks and they're looking for better answers, and they're ready to do the work. But then in my program, I know that people are on time limitations and energetic limitations. If you've been uh, uh, had health problems for a while, you might be tired and brain foggy and you can't absorb all of it. So each week I have a cheat sheet of the highlight things to integrate. And then if you find something that's interesting, you're like, oh, I want to learn more about that. Go watch the video, go watch the training. But I try to break it down in easy ways that people can implement quickly.
I love that, because that's really the key to success, is that people need to have those like quick wins and the little quick transformations, so they can see that, okay, this is great. It's giving them that confidence and that energy to go forward and do more. And like you said, there's so much, right? From the lymphatic system to the energetics you're talking about, to the liver function, to, mold we mentioned the last time we were talking about it, where we're not even, there's so much to learn, right? But instead of getting, and it is so interesting, you really can just make so much time to invest in learning this stuff. But I love that you have broken down your programs in a way that are bite-sized, so people can implement right away, get results right away, and continue on their journey. And then, like you said, if there's something that comes up that they're really wanting to learn more, you have all the resources in place for them to do that. So I just love this. How did this passion come to you, when you, because you can tell your passion for this. When I first spoke with you, it just it just comes through so strongly how passionate you are about this. And I love that. That to me is just a woman living her true success, is when she has that kind of passion for what she's doing and knowing it helps other people. So how did this come to you in the first place? How did you get on this track?
It was a long time ago. As I look at my age now, this was 20 something years ago. But I was diagnosed with low thyroid, and the solution for that is to put you on a medication called Synthroid. And I was talking to an acquaintance who also happens to be a physician, and I said, I don't want to be on medication the rest of my life. I'm going to figure out a way to fix this on my own. And that doctor looked at me and he said, you will never be able to heal your thyroid. You will always be on medication. You'll be on it for the rest of your life. And that
Wow.
was a game changer. I I have a little bit of a contrarian personality. My company is named Defiant Wellness. Most of the time it works in my favor. But anyway, I set out to prove this doctor wrong. I was like, I'm
Mhm.
whatever. I'm not listening to you, and I'm not going to be
Very
on
good.
medication for the rest of my life. So
Yes.
I researched how to heal my thyroid, and a majority of it was reducing the toxic load on my body and fueling it with the right foods. So, and that's a little easier when you're 20 years old. It can be a little more complicated as you get older, but still the same basic principles apply. So I switched out the toxic products in my home, like cleaning products and laundry. I cut out all the junk foods, worked on regulating my stress, getting better sleep. Within 6 months, my blood tests were back to normal. And
Fantastic.
I showed them to the doctor, and he said that the tests were wrong.
Of course. Well,
So that took everything about it made me question everything
Yes.
from
Yeah.
Western medicine, even to a lot of things in natural health. I question everything, and that set me out on this path. And I've always been studying this stuff. So professionally, I've been doing it for 16 years, but I've been on my journey a lot longer, and I love it.
I love this. It was meant for you to have this in your life because it's who you are. And the fact that you can help other people, you know, when we spoke, I just thought about the work that you do and that, you have, I'm sure, helped people that were stuck physically with their health and it was affecting every part of their life. And because of working with you, you helped them clear whatever was their block. And now they have this better life because of it. Maybe they're a better parent, a better friend, better daughter, just living a better life for themselves. And I think that's why I'm so impressed with the work that you're doing because it might just be little tweaks in a person, but that person might never know what those tweaks are supposed to be about. And then you come in there and work with them and you kind of assess and fix and figure it out. And that person for the rest of their life has a better life because of you and whom they touch. And that is like such a big deal to me because this is work that is really powerful. Like I said, there's nothing more important than health. I went through a little bit of a health thing this last summertime, and it gets you real clear real fast about really what we need to take care of, and that is our health. Everything else is secondary, and and also I love what you said about like the sleeping and the stress levels because like that fight or flight that produces that cortisol is really not good for us. And or at least the overload of it is. And just like what you're saying about maybe some of the things people can do every day is just get some sleep, drink a lot of water, meditate, go walk in nature. Some of the basics probably are so helpful to people in general, and then getting into the physiology of what is going on with them specifically. And it must be interesting for you too. As you see different people, you see different things come up, and you know yeah.
Well, all of my clients are my teachers. That's been the
Yeah.
best part of this. I've learned a lot in the books, and I study a lot. None of that means a thing until you start integrating it with people. And so I have been working one-on-one with people for 16 years. I know so much random stuff because I don't have a 10-minute session with people and then they're out of my office. I have an
Right.
hour to an hour and a half, sometimes even more. People tell me these medical things. And so I've had a really unique opportunity to be able to put these pieces of the puzzle together. And a lot of those clients have seen other medical practitioners. And so I glean things from what they're teaching them. And it's been the coolest career because I just get to listen to all this stuff. And so I always credit my clients with where I am today because they've been my best teachers.
Yeah.
And they have problems that they haven't been able to figure out. And so we brainstorm about that and we figure out different things that they can do to try or to start healing. Um, but this job really means a lot to me because I think our bodies are the way we enact our vision, and it's our bodies are the way in which we fulfill the calling on our lives. And so, like you were saying, if we don't have our health, we're missing that huge piece. We need our bodies to do it. We need the mental clarity to achieve our goals and to focus on the things that matter. And so, as I've been able to help people, that's my favorite part, to see them heal and whatever the calling is on their lives, to see them fulfill that, whether it's being a better parent or the better CEO or a better athlete, anything in there. I love seeing people thrive, and I love getting to be a part of that.
And I love what you're saying too, because like you are all in with them. Like you're 110% on and ready to help them. And typically the client that works with you is going to be the same, because it's a commitment to their own health. And you have to have that kind of dual energy where you can't be dragging someone along, telling them all the things they should do, and then they don't do anything, and that's not fulfilling to you. So it's nice to know that like the people that are going to work with you and reach out to you are really the people that are wanting to make that difference in their health. We want that for everybody, but each person comes at their own time when they're ready to take their health to the next level. Some are dedicated their whole life through, some it happens at a certain point in life, but regardless, it's nice to know that you have this whole different focus point that gives them options or allows them to bounce off different possibilities for their own health. So I just love what you're doing. I think it's amazing. And so one more time before we get into our success questions, can you let everybody know your website one more time?
It's defyyourlimits.com.
I
And you
love
can
it.
find everything you need there, and I will enjoy connecting with you.
I love this. And I also love what you said. When someone says, no, it's not possible, you're like, oh, yeah, watch me. And I love
I've
that.
I've seen too many cool miracles in this job. I worked in a clinic where we did a lot of stretching, but also a neurological portion. I saw people who were in wheelchairs walk again. I saw miracles happen, and you can't tell me that stuff is not possible, because I've seen it too
Absolutely.
much to ever believe that. So
I love that. And that's the big hope that we all know exists, and we also need to be reminded that it exists, because then it gives us that fuel to go forward with our lives, whatever it is that we're pursuing. But I also love, because that whole, a little bit of that whole attitude of defying, is one of the reasons you're your own boss and entrepreneur, right? And so this is one of those things, like now we're going to get into the success questions, and I have a feeling a little bit of that same energy that you kind of told that doctor I'll show you is sort of some of that energy that comes up for a lot of us when we don't necessarily want to do the normal so-called job, and we want to make our own way and make our own rules and make our own money in the way that fulfills us. So on that note, let's get into some fun success questions. So it's funny, the first one I have is how do you define success? Like, what does it look like in the day in your life?
success looks like freedom. And
Mm,
whether that's financial freedom or freedom to be with my kids, that's currency to me. Freedom to be with my kids and spend time with them and get to do fun things with them. That is success right there. Um, the freedom to help other people, and the freedom to be able to think outside the box. So a lot of people would define success with money, and that is part of my definition, but freedom, and the
yeah,
freedom to do the things I want to do with the people I want to do and where I want to do them.
absolutely. And you're so right about the money part. We all say, oh, lots of money. It's not actually the money, it's what the money allows you to do. And basically, what it allows you to do is have choices and have more freedom with those choices.
Yep,
And,
and my
I
kids
don't
are the
think
heart of that. When I get to do stuff with them, that is success for me.
that's that's perfect. That's such a beautiful answer, because again, that is what is really it is all about. It's your family, to be able to spend time with your loved ones and enjoy your life. And no one admires someone who makes so much money but is working 120 hours a week and has no life. Nobody's after that idea. So it is not about the money, it is about the balance, and then all that you can have because of some of the freedoms that comes with that, of course. But
One of the
okay, so
things I love is my 3-year-old. He If I'm on my phone or something and I'm playing with him and not fully focused on him, he said, "Mommy, put your phone down." And I do have that freedom to be able to put it down. I don't have to be tied to it. I'm not trying to work 120 hours a week and miss all of that time. And I can
yeah,
just put it down and be very present with him or my 5.5-month-old. And I love it. I absolutely love it.
it's fantastic. Okay, so I have another question for you. So sometimes women struggle to find out what they're supposed to do in their life. What is their passion? What kind of business should they make? So, what practices do you suggest for those women that are trying to get in touch with their soul's purpose and figure out what their path is? Someone maybe just starting they know they want to be their own boss and have their own business, but they're not 100% sure what that is supposed to feel like when they know that's it. What might you suggest for someone getting in touch with those emotions?
This is such a good question. And I know we had touched on it when we talked before. I am on this path because I failed my college major. I was an education major. I didn't really know what else I could do back then. You're 18, you have no idea. So my senior year, they told me I was terrible in my student teaching and that I wouldn't be able to pass. And I didn't want to spend another 40 grand for private school. So I think I finished in health promotion and wellness, and I was lost when I came out and I had no idea, but I did have a background in exercise science and kinesiology. So I went to massage school. And when I graduated, one of my mom's friends said, if you want to be anything in this industry, you need to study under these few people. And I started doing that, and I got really great mentors. And to keep a long story short, they set a really great foundation for my success now. So one of the key things that I found is being around great mentors, and whether that's, them in person or, them, you're watching their YouTube videos or it's a book, find those great mentors that can help you build that solid foundation, because you never know where it's going to go. I didn't know that I would end up here 16 years later. I was so discouraged when I failed college that, I didn't fail college, but failed my major. And I had no idea what to do. But another part of that is trusting the process. You might not know what to do and you might be grasping at straws, but find those things you're good at. Find those things that are in your heart that just kind of keep nagging you and that don't go away and that you're really good at. And trust the process as you intentionally develop those skills. See where it goes. And it might bring you to a path you thought of, or it might bring you to a path you didn't even think of. But a huge thing for me was trusting that process and doing the right things. But I had a process of learning how to do the right things and being open, reading books, finding out what other people are doing.
Love this answer, because basically it's saying, pay attention to what brings you natural joy, that is effortless, basically, and what you keep kind of leaning towards. But then also, excuse me, focus on, like you said, YouTube or books, people that bring you up, let you help yourself believe in yourself, because sometimes you'll share your goals too soon and possibly with well-meaning people, but if you're not already developed in it, it can be it's better to sometimes hold your dreams and get that support outside, whether it's book or mentors or a coach or a group that is focused on success and entrepreneurship, to get those muscles built, especially when you're brand new, until you get a little bit more rooted and you have a clearer direction, and then go forward with that. And like you said, don't be afraid to, you might start out on one road and end up completely in a different road, but that's okay. Trust the process. If there's a desire in your heart, it's meant for you. And sometimes that desire changes, and it's supposed to change, because everything is going to help you become what you're supposed to be in that next iteration of what you're pursuing. And so I love this answer. I think that's really great.
There's one more part to it though, and this is your wheelhouse, but you've got to have a good financial head on your shoulders. If you want to be successful, it takes money. It's either going to take money or time, and a lot of times it takes both. I've put a lot of money into my education. I wouldn't be anywhere where I am if I did not have those funds to be able to invest. And then as I've built my website, I didn't have tons of money to do that. So I had to invest my time. But having a great financial head on your shoulders, financial goals, financial responsibility, that's a a huge component of success, because one of the reasons that small businesses close is because we run out of money. So
Yes.
for personally, I try to keep a low overhead so I don't have tons of stressors coming from the outside. I'm the only employee of my business, and
Yeah.
that's a huge component. That's very, very important.
I love that you brought this up because this is very true. And I think it's very true for many beginning entrepreneurs. There's all the things to create your own business, right? Whether it's, the building of the website, the messaging, the marketing, all the things, the trying to learn how to do Instagram or whatever it might be. And we get very focused on the learning, and and it's important. And it makes us feel good because it's action forward, right? We think we're getting somewhere. To some degree, that's true, but in all honesty, and a lot of us learn this the hard way in the very beginning, that doesn't pay the bills. Like, you taking an Instagram course is not going to have you pay your bills. So you have to right away in the beginning focus on your money making activities just enough so that you don't get into survival mode and start freaking out. Because if you are stressed about money and surviving, you can't flourish properly, and you cannot be of service to anybody when you're in that fight or flight space. And it's
And it
so
leaks
it's
out
very
into your business. It will negatively
absolute.
affect it for sure.
The energies are there, so you can do all of it's a balance between mindfulness and meditation and mindset work and affirmations and studying and putting it all in that there's a place for all of that, but it has to coexist with money making activities right in the beginning. Not, I'll get to the money making activities after I get all this stuff done, because by that point you're already going to put yourself into a spin, and it's going to be like a survival reaction, and that energy is terrible. You can feel it, other people can feel it. You will not be able to receive because you're in a mindset of lack instead of abundance. And so that fundamental, what you just said is absolutely true. You need to be sure that you can be bringing money in. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be from your new entrepreneurial focus. It can be from a side job or your regular job. You just want to make sure that you make a beautiful start for yourself so that you are going at your brand new business with nothing but love and joy and fulfillment, and not anything that's stressful and anxious energy. Because if you're right, you would agree, like if you're going to create your own business, this is your like baby, basically. It's your joy. So we want to make sure that you protect that energy and make that a beautiful experience the whole way through. And lack of money is the quickest way to ruin that experience. And so I love that you brought that up. It's so important, right? Well done. Speaking of that, next question on marketing. So in the very beginning, a lot of there's so many choices. Should I do a Facebook group? Should I do Instagram? Should I do Facebook ads? How do I get my marketing going? For you specifically, when you first really started to go in this direction with your business, what were your what are two things you'd recommend, like that worked for you in the beginning?
Let me preface that. I have spent so much time in content creation, and that was a mistake. I was like, let me get this perfect, and then I'll tell people about it. I have been in content creation for a very, very long time, and I didn't do any marketing, and that was a big mistake in my business. I would change it if I could go back and do it all over again, but now I have experienced such great pain by not doing that. I've learned my lesson, and now I am working on marketing. One of the things for me, I don't enjoy doing Facebook posts. I don't enjoy doing Instagram posts. I could write a 1,000-page book quicker than I could come up with 3 Facebook posts and break it down into something simple. I really overcomplicate things. And so that's a process for me. I'm learning. I'm not perfect at this, but I realized for marketing, I want to do marketing in a way that brings me joy. That is connecting with people. So it's doing podcasts, it's doing summits, it's talking with people and having conversations. It's not loading a social media feed with posts after posts. I love connecting with people. And I've got really wise clients in my life who've known me my entire career. And they've also said that. And they're like, Heather, you need to be going on podcasts and talking to people. That's where you shine. Um, and part of success is listening to the wise ones around you. You have to learn who is wise, who's truly wise, who truly understands you. Because some people might be your friends and they might be your family, but they don't understand you.
Yeah,
Get people who are wise and understand the business side in relation to you, and listen to them. They've walked a path before you. And so I have wonderful people in my life who've pointed that stuff out. Um, but I think marketing should be joyful and should be a way that resonates with you, and it doesn't have to feel icky. When you have a great thing, when you have something you love, that shines through, and it will shine through in your materials. And yes, there are strategies to learn how to do it better. But when you have something you love, when you're passionate about it, that will shine through in your stuff. And it takes time to craft it, but do marketing things that resonate with you.
I love this. It's excellent. Everything that you're saying, because you're saying something, and I see like three like success tips right in there. One was the content creation. We're all probably very guilty of that in the beginning because we get so excited about creating our business, and then we get into perfectionism mode. And that perfectionism thing is also one of the things that stops us from actually having a real business. I don't know why I did air quotes, but and really going forward in, getting through that and doing the marketing. But what you just said about the joy, it comes back to that again, where I like to think of our businesses as our babies. We want the very best of joyful, happy, blessedness for our baby businesses, whatever they are. And making sure that it brings you joy. That's why you're opening this business. If it didn't bring you joy, you could just go get a regular job at some other place that doesn't also bring you that much joy and make it a lot easier on yourself. So if you're doing this business, do it in a way that is so fulfilling to you. And I love that you just said that. And what you said about the people that really can give you the wise advices because they've been there and they've done that, and that they have walked the talk, and they can really see you for what you're trying to pursue. And so really, like, you said like one sentence and there were literally like three great things right in there. So fantastic answer. I love it. And okay, next question. What will you never compromise on in your business? Like, what's a strong focus on your business that you will never compromise?
How I treat people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there I've seen a lot of businesses over the years, and they'll treat people differently based on the amount of income they have or something, and or different socioeconomic statuses or whatever. A lot of people treat people differently. I don't ever want to do that. Like, when I look at people, I think people are brilliant. I think their bodies are brilliant. I think their systems are healing. I'm never going to tell somebody that there is no hope for them. I might
Yeah.
not be the right fit for them, but there's not never hope. Is that the proper sentence?
Yep.
There's always hope.
There's
Um,
always sounds good to
and
me.
it
Yeah.
doesn't matter where you're coming from or what
Yeah.
financial background. Like, there's always hope. And I want to treat people like that. I will never compromise on that. No matter what, there's always hope for what people are facing. And we have to do the right things. We have to follow processes, and we have to be proactive on that. But I will always treat people well, and um and with hope.
I love this. I love this because I truly believe it. Um, Basically, I have come to a lot of us, we set goals and we think it's that arrival of achievement that is where the happiness lies. And it's not. It's actually, it is what they say. It's the journey, not the destination. Because as soon as you achieve any goal, if you don't have a new goal soon, not saying that you can't have a rest, but if there isn't a new goal or something to hope for, to go for, to wish for, to be improved upon, that is not the place you want to be, because that's when you can get into some negative energy. And so truly, really, the key to happiness isn't money, a big house, big car, or even the perfect job. It's actually having always having an abundance of new goals that you set for yourself, because it's always that movement of going forward, having something to be excited to go for. And then it's that journey of the experience along the way, because you'll get to your goals, you'll achieve your goals, and you'll be like, yes, and you'll have a great moment, and that's fantastic. And it gives you all the confidence. Then what? Right. And so what you're saying about that hope part, for me, that hope is most beautiful, and it's part of the entire life experience, no matter what type of goal it is. But it's always something a little bit in front of you that invigorates you, has a desire in your heart that you want to go for it and achieve it. And it's just that process of seeing yourself grow as an individual, and how you are improving upon your own self or blessing other people because of it, and giving you that confidence that there's always hope going forward, improving no matter what it is, right? So that
And we all have that inside of us. It is up to us to nurture that. Like, we can stop our growth and we can stop the hope that's before us because we do not act, and things can get stagnant. My courses, they're all called Go with the Flow. And obviously I'm talking about lymphatic flow and the drainage funnel flow, but that's also for life, like going with the flow. But you've got to be proactive. We can't just let stuff push us all the time, or sit on the sidelines. We have to be an active participant in that. And so there is always hope as long as we keep moving.
Exactly. And this brings me to my next question perfectly. Sometimes people don't take action or move because they're afraid. And so my next question is, how do you deal with fear and doubt so that you can get it out of the way and proceed on the path of that hopeful forward movement?
I literally imagine my fears as a thing in front of me, and I actively will put it aside. It's like, oh, your fear of failure, I envision that as a thing, and then I set it aside and keep going. Um, that works for me. I don't know if it works for everybody, but I have to envision those fears as things and set them aside. And if I want to be afraid, I can go pick them back up.
Yeah.
Um, but
Yeah.
usually I find out once I start moving and once I set those fears aside that I keep going, and then it's not so scary. I'm
Yeah.
terrified of speaking to people, and the first podcast I ever went on, my clothes were wet from panic sweat
Oh,
after I was on it. I was so scared. It took me, I probably prepared for that for 8 hours, just trying to get it right. I was terrified. I was nervous. Um, but I did it. And then I had to go change my clothes because I panic sweated all over them. But I did it still. And then I did a second podcast and it wasn't so scary. And now I don't even have to look at notes when I'm doing podcasts because I just keep doing it. And if you keep doing the thing, you'll get better.
I love that. And it's so true. And one of the things I'm really excited about that I see progressing all of the time now, it especially when it came to the fear of being visible, like what you're speaking of, because many of us business owners start with that same first feeling of our first live, whatever that is, Facebook Live, Instagram, podcast episode. It is nerve-wracking, really, because this isn't exactly how we always thought we would have to show up in our business. This is a progression of the times where, we get in front of the cameras and we show ourselves and share ourselves, and it's vulnerable and a scary place. But one of the things that I see happening that I'm loving for everybody, especially all of us women, is that whole idea of perfectionism that we thought we had to be is actually the thing that nobody wants. They want real people that are relatable, because then they can identify with them, and it makes it easier for them to say, oh wow, I really like her, and look what she did with her business, and she's so like great and normal, and I feel like she's my friend and I can do this. She's making me believe in myself. And it's this great atmosphere now that we can just show up and relax about it and be really authentic and real. And I remember what you're saying too, because the first live that I did after I was done, I spent hours trying to edit a little bit of the beginning and a little bit of the end because it was a little, not perfected. And I thought, oh my goodness, my time honestly is too valuable to try and spend an hour and a half editing a couple seconds off of a video that someone may or may not notice. And then I said, I'm done with that. I'm done because I'll normally like I'll go without my glasses, but I can't see the small print. And in the end, I would be like, okay, signing off now. And I used to hate this. And then I realized, you know what? No, this is who I am now. I'm older. My eyes aren't as good. This is how it is. And I just let the video be unedited now. And I love it because you know why? Because I know I'm giving some other woman permission to be a little messy, because the message, whatever, it's the message that really counts, right? That's what we're trying to deliver. That's where our heart is. And that's what's most important, is the message we want to share with people about what we do and why we do it and why it matters. Who cares if a dog barked in the background of your live video, or you had to put your reading glasses on because you can't see very well anymore,
I've got
right?
mine
So
on. I can't see otherwise.
yeah, now I know. Now I'm at the point I'm just like, I'm just going to leave them on the whole time. But it's just such a great platform that, we don't need to be as afraid, because we're all feeling afraid. So if we are all feeling afraid, then what's there to be afraid of? We're all experiencing the same thing. So let's just kind of hug it out virtually, so to speak, and relax about it and just go do our thing that we do our best, right? So love it. Okay, my next question is a good one because it comes up quite a lot, especially in my mode of work. But do you believe that you can manifest your desires? And if so, how do you personally, do you have a process for doing that when you're like specific about a certain goal that you might want to be achieving, or something you might want to manifest?
That's a really great question. Oh, good. Wow, I don't even know how to answer that. That's been a long, long journey in my life. Um, I think I was first introduced to it when that The Secret came out about
Hmm.
manifesting. So number one, I was raised in a very conservative Christian home. And so manifestation, no. You pray for the things you want. You do not manifest. So I've been wrestling with all of these things. Um, and even in the Bible, there are so many times where they're like, ask and it will be given to you, and different things, like put your stuff out there. Um, so this has been, I think about this stuff a lot. I have tried different manifesting things. Whether you manifest, I tried manifesting money and it didn't work. Because money is not the thing I wanted. It was the experiences behind it. And the freedom behind it. And so I was trying to manifest money and it just never worked. And that
It's just paper. It has no. It's just paper. It's what does the money signify, right? Yeah.
right. And so I've had to make that shift in manifesting. It's not the money. It's what comes along with that. And like obviously for me, my kids are such a priority, and spending time with them because they're getting big so fast. And then I realized I am successful and I did manifest because I got that time with my kids. So I am rich because I just got to, like this morning, I got to spend an hour with my kids and we played, and my kid dressed up in Christmas lights and he put
Oh,
Rudolph on. And that other people might not care about that, but that means the world to me. And I just manifested success right there, because
yes,
that's one of my
that's
definitions of
right.
success. So historically, if I would look at, or not historically in my life,
Hmm.
if I would look at manifesting and The Secret and all those abundance things, I don't know that I'm the best at that. And that might just be because I haven't done it enough, or done it in the right ways, or been trained enough on it. But um, I'm learning as I shift those desires to find the underlying things, to find
Yeah.
the stuff that
The
really
why.
brings me joy, and yeah, the why,
The why. Yeah.
then it is clearer in what I want. And it's never money.
Yes, I love that you said that, because I guess when for me, prayer is, that I'm like, thank you, God, so much for, gratitude. To me, that is like a form of manifesting. I don't even really make, it's being thankful for what you have and having faith for what you believe, being open to receiving it. And you are exactly right. It's about the biggest thing with achieving um whatever those things are that you want, the desires, is the why. Why do you want it? And if anyone out there is, just, writing, goals for any point in their life. And there has to be a why, and you have to go even farther back, break down the why, and then, go even deeper and deeper and deeper with the why, because that is what is going to give you the fuel and the ownership, claiming it, that, claim it. And I also love what you said about spending the time with your kids, because time is the new currency. Basically, freedom of time is the currency, I think, especially for women. Even, I mean, money is so important, because we discussed we need the money to function, but not money to the point where we don't have time. That doesn't appeal to any of us. And so it's that, strategy, and being smart in our how we run our businesses, so that we, yes, make the money, but really have that time, because this is a currency that, most all of us want more of, so we can, you know, do our beautiful business, which feels like a gift, because we don't want to have to do something we're not really into to make some money to do what we really are into. I mean, that's kind of like, it doesn't line up so well. So everything's got to be in balance. But yeah, love what you just said there. So
And
I
you
think
nailed another key part, the gratitude.
yeah. Mhm.
I work with my little guy on that. I was like, what are we thankful for? That's what we talk about as we drive to school. What are we thankful for? And then what things can we say thank you in advance for? So if we
Yeah.
don't have it yet and we want it, let's start being thankful for it
Yes.
and change that attitude instead of feeling
Yes.
desperate. So my
That's
little guy,
how
he's
I've
like,
been.
thank you in advance for my dump truck. I'm
I
like,
love
okay.
it's great. I love it. And you were so correct. And I've been doing that for, I can't even remember when I didn't do that. It was always thank you so much, God, because you have to be thankful for the blessings you've already received before you can receive more. If you're not even grateful for what you have, you know, that's not being, you're not going to be open to being able to receive, because that's just not how it works. And that's also one of those hope things, like when we can circle back, like let's say someone's having a little tough time in their life. We all have these moments in our life, the ups and the downs, it's part of it. And sometimes people can lose their normal hopeful joyful self, and this is where the gratitude is really important too, because it can be as little as I heard the bird chirping in the tree and it made me happy while I was drinking my morning coffee. You have to notice all of the joys, all of the blessings, and then that is such an abundance mindset of gratitude and natural joy, that energy is going to pull more good things to you. So I really, that for me is manifesting. It's really just being a walking gratitude person. That's that to me. And that's pretty easy to do, because when you think about how many blessings we all have in our lives, we can we could probably literally write 100 things every single day, and still have room for more. So great, great, great. Okay. Probably my last question, because uh I love like routines. Sometimes I love the freedom, but a little bit of routine. So what empowering routines, what I like to call wealthy woman habits, do you follow each day, where if you didn't do it, you would feel a little off, like, because it just fills you up so much? Like, could be a morning routine. And what does that look like for you?
For me, it starts very early because my little one, my 5.5-month-old, gets me up about 4 a.m. every day. And I love it because I get silence. So part of my routine, once he falls back asleep, I need silence. And that's when I write down in my journal things I'm grateful for. And I drink probably 24 ounces of water each morning. So those three things, silence and writing what I'm thankful for and drinking enough water, I get that as a start to my day. That's every single day.
Love it.
I'll do a little bit of stretching or something for movement. It could just be jumping up and down. That gets your lymph moving. Something for the body, and then the gratitude is for the mind and the heart. I'm very routine driven, so I'll spend a couple hours working on my business and on the content and responding to emails, and then I go work with people in my day-to-day business. But making sure that I'm taking deep breaths, and I set a timer for that so that I remember, because I get really busy throughout the day. And I think the thing for me, those routine things are really centered around nervous system regulation so that I can remind myself daily to get out of fight or flight and into that healing state. Because that's where my work flows the best. That's where I'm not coming from desperation. That's where my body can heal. And so throughout the day, as I set a timer to just do very basic things, whether it's take a deep breath, whether it's sit up straight and reset my posture, those things actually drive a lot deeper than we think. Like that's going to start changing you at the cellular level and helping your cells start to heal. As you sit up, your diaphragm is able to descend properly upon inhale. That's going to help you pump lymph. That is going to help. So that helps you detox. That's going to help regulate your vagus nerve. So that's regulating stress. It's regulating inflammation. There are so many things that are very simple. We can do them in just a couple of seconds. And sometimes we only have a couple of seconds of time. And when I put those things in my day, and when that is the foundation of it, if I can have a regulated nervous system, that is going to give me more space and margin for the other things in my life. And whether it's a challenge that I encounter, you can still find that place of healing and of peace and of restoration by having these physiological components aligned and doing them throughout the day. And not everything that happens to us is going to be good. There are a lot of bad things that can happen, but if you have a good foundation in your nervous system, you will be more resilient in the face of those adverse things, and you'll have a good foundation to start dealing with other things in your life that might not be pretty, but at least when the nervous system is in line, you're able to be in a healing state. And when we're healing, we can create, we are more at peace. And it just opens the door for that flow and for better things to happen. And I'm not saying that bad things won't happen or that positive thinking will make everything in our lives good. But if we have a strong foundation to come at everything in our life, I think that starts with the nervous system.
I love everything you just said because as you were saying it, I'm thinking what you were just saying, even how you set the timer to remind yourself to breathe, properly. Every time you're doing a routine for yourself, you're basically telling yourself, I value myself. I value myself. And that is self-love. And that is so important. And it makes you feel good. It makes you feel accomplished. Even something as simple, like you said, as a couple seconds where you breathe deeply or fix your posture. You are letting yourself know that you value yourself, you want to be the best you can be, and you feel proud, like you accomplished something, and it sets you up, like you said, for a more successful experience in life. Even when some tough things happen, you're more resilient for it. And I tell you, Heather, this has just been really very inspiring and motivating. I fixed my posture as soon as you said that.
And see,
And
it
it's
only
like
took you like a second.
it did, and I felt better automatically, and I got a smile on my face doing it. I'm like, yes, and I love that, what you're saying, just like about setting the timer, because for many of you women, that might forget, we get busy, we get caught up. This is a great idea. Set the alarm on your smartphone or get a habit tracker. I have a habit tracker. It feels so good to check things off, even if it's just on my phone. And all of this builds up your power and your confidence, and it lets you know that you can accomplish things and you keep moving forward in that direction of self-improvement and being a better person to yourself and to others and creating that life that you desire. So this has been very inspiring. And I really love everything that you're talking about with all the health. It's so interesting. So I hope, people will go to your website and peruse all of this great knowledge that you have there, that so they can learn a little bit more about their body. It's so interesting. We walk this earth and we are blessed with these bodies, and sometimes they almost feel like they're ours but separate from us somehow, like we're not owning it and getting to know ourselves or our body better. And I mean, that could be a beautiful journey. We're very focused, of course, on our mindset and, our gratitude and meditation and breathing and nature walks and all of those things, which are amazing. But it also would be so great to let's get to know our liver a little bit better, or our lymph nodes a little bit better, or our nervous system a little bit better, our sleep routines a little bit better. We should have bigger conversations about this, because we're doing great things for our mindset and, yoga and peace and all the things, and that's fantastic, but there is so much more. I can see how, like, you never want to stop learning, because there's always new things
Mhm.
to learn and improve upon. And yeah, I mean, what a nice thing to get to know these beautiful homes that we get to walk this earth with, and we should get to know them better and figure out how to do better by them, learn our body's language and figure out how to feed it, so-called, in all the ways better. So
One of our bodies do talk to us, and that's in the symptoms we experience. When you have negative symptoms, your body's telling you something. It says, this is what I need. So if you have a baby or a pet and you learn everything about them. You know when they're hungry, you know when they have to go to the bathroom, you know when they've been bad and done something
yeah,
naughty.
yeah,
You know these things. Our body does the same thing. Its symptoms are illuminating the path to your healing. It's not working against you. It's working for you. And it's telling you, I have a problem and I need you to pay attention. And if we start listening to our symptoms instead of covering them up with pills or all these different things, we're going to find what our body's trying to say. And that's what I help people do. But um, that's how our body talks to us, through symptoms. And it's like, something's not right. I need something to change. And that's our path to figure out what it is to change. So
I love this. It's sort of like we have to say, wow, body, you are so intelligent and you've been trying to communicate with me in this most profound way. And I just had my ears covered and maybe I wasn't paying attention, and I need to listen to you more. This is beautiful, the work that you're doing. You're basically teaching people how to become best friends with their own bodies. Basically, it's like, get to know your body. This is your house. Know your house, and
and we should be able to be at peace in our homes. Um, and I think so many people work against their bodies, and we need to come to peace with them. And the
hmm
first thing is to listen and
love it.
realize your body's working for you. It's not working against you. Your symptoms are the way it's communicating.
I love this.
But you can be at
Okay,
peace in your body and
that's
great things will
fantastic.
happen.
Heather, this is so inspiring. I love everything that we talked about today. One more time, because just in case someone, for whatever reason, missed the beginning of where they can find your work, can you let them know one more time what your website is before we sign off? And I just want to say thank you so much for a very illuminating discussion on the physical part. We're all about our mental and our goals and all the things, but let's pay attention also to our physical a little bit more. So go ahead, let everybody know where they can find you.
Well, thanks so much for having me. I had a great time, great conversation. And
Absolutely.
if you're interested in learning more, my website is defyyourlimits.com.
Excellent. Well, wealthy women, wealth is everything. I've been saying this. Wealth is happy life, happy body, happy business, following your desires, knowing that you can succeed. If it's in your heart, it is meant for you. Consistently progressing forward and being the best in all the ways that you can be. And that's not to mean overwhelm yourself. Do a little bit at a time, take little steps forward. But this is a great conversation we just had today about, let's focus on getting to know our bodies as our best friends and listen to them. What do they need? What does our body need? What is it trying to communicate to us? Let's hear ourselves on an even more profound level. And check out Heather's website, because I know that there's amazing materials on there that are just very inspiring and very exciting to learn and to do better and to always, yeah, keep going for all of your goals, all of your dreams. Include your body in that. Take care of your body, because your health is everything, and it will help you achieve all those other goals that you have for yourself in a much more enjoyable way. So until the next time, keep going for your dreams, and I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Bye for now. Okay, here comes the classes part. Okay.